There are over 300,000 apps for the iPhone, with many of them free to the user. The apps include everything from lifestyle to utilities to games. One game that just came on the market is PENGI. It was developed by Newton South grad and 2009 Boston College grad Alex Rastorgouev. I hope I said your name right.
Close enough.
Now, this is a very exciting time for you because this is your first or second game that's out?
Yeah, our second app, but our first game. Yes.
First game. Now, when did you come up with the idea for PENGI? Because it's kind of fun. I'll tell you guys a little bit about it shortly, but tell me how you came up with the idea for PENGI.
Well, to be honest, we started playing around with the idea of moving in a board on the screen, and the first idea that came on was, why don't two things have to move into the same place? And how do you achieve that? So we actually ended up writing a program that calculates all the different positions and gives you the final outcome. So we came up with the idea of basically about playing around with the iPhone, and I was like, oh, this would be great. So we ended up going with it. So
is it similar to another game that's out there, kind of like Blocks?
Yeah, there's a pretty famous game that's on there. It's one of the first games that was on the market, called Fling. So that kind of gave us the inspiration to go with this idea. It's similar, but we have a lot more puzzles, and ours are actually a lot harder than theirs. So throw it on there.
Yeah. Now, how long did it actually take for you to develop PENGI? Because it's, 6 months in development, and then to get it through Apple. That must have taken some time, too.
Well, the development of PENGI, the toughest part was creating the puzzles. We have over 100,000 puzzles, and they range from easy, obviously, to really, really hard when you get up there. So it took us about 6 months to develop the actual game, but then when we submitted it to Apple, it was about a week for them to review it, and
which is
we got it on there.
Unusual.
Which is very unusual. There's a lot of horror stories out there of apps being denied 5, 6, 7 times, and for us to be through in one go was really, really good.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah. Now, what were your goals for the game? I mean, now that you've got the two penguins that are on there, what were your goals for the game itself to get onto the Apple? Are you going to go to the iPad application, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, we have really high goals for this game because we've gotten a lot of really positive feedback from critics, players, from everybody. So I think the goals are limitless, to be honest. We're going to go onto the iPad. We're going to make the board bigger, create more modes of play, and make it a lot more interesting. And honestly, we can probably make books with it. You can make puzzle books and so on. So we'll just go with the idea. We don't have certain goals, but we have big goals for the game.
Ideas for them anyway.
Right. Yes.
All right. Now, to keep everyone sustain their, or no longer keep them in suspense, tell me how to play, because it's actually quite fun. I played it and I became addicted myself. So tell everyone how to play the game.
Okay, so the board starts on with penguins put in certain place, and you have finishes where you have to put those penguins on. And the hard part is you have certain moves that you have to move those penguins onto the finishes. So
in 4 moves, you need to move the blue penguin to the blue spot.
Exactly, or to rearrange them from the starting position to the final position.
Right.
So that's how you play the game. It's a very simple idea, which makes it really, really brilliant, I think. So.
And it's in a certain amount of moves, which for the free application, it's 4 or 5 moves. I think it went all the way up to 8, but as you were saying, much higher.
Yes, when you get up to expert mode, which we have in the paid version, there's some puzzles that are 60 moves. It gets up to 65 moves, I think. That's the top.
That's just crazy because the screen's not that big.
Yeah, it's a 5x5 grid, and I think that's close to the maximum number of moves that you can do on that kind of grid, from the starting position to the final position.
It is a lot of fun. If you haven't tried it yet, it is a lot of fun. And right now, you do have the free version, which people can check out, but you also have a paid version, which offers the multitude of 100,000 levels.
100,000 different puzzles,
right.
And they're all completely different.
Now, are you, for AVAR Soft, that's the company that you own as well as work at?
Yes.
Are you guys coming up with perhaps another game on the horizon, some ideas that are, brewing about?
Yes, we're actually, and we're developing another game right now. It should be finished with graphics and everything in about a month. So we're hoping to get that on the App Store within a month and a half or so. The tough part is graphics of that game, because it takes a while to get all the graphics for it. So we have our graphic designers working overtime. So
should be exciting.
Yeah.
So we should pay attention to your website then.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Alex. Thanks so much. I look forward to playing your game some more.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, John.
All right. And there are two versions of the PENGI game. One is free, and the other one is for pay. For more information about the PENGI app, you can visit avarsoft.com. Newt News will be right back.